So wake up, kiddo. Time to get to work. If you think that there's any way to live a beautiful life, letting your emotions in the morning cloud your judgment, my friend, you are in for some shit. And frankly speaking, those of my colleagues and those of my friends and those of my role models that actually end up not caring about their morning emotions are the ones that end up making the most difference in life. The reality is our emotions in general are really useful for determining, whether or not we're doing the right stuff with our life, whether or not we're in the right relationships, or whether or not we're really making the most of the time that we have. But if you let those cloud your judgment, you will end up giving in to something that is quite evil, in my opinion, something that takes your soul away from society. And this channel is all about how to bring out that larger potential in yourself. The first step is making sure that when you wake up, you don't allow that to carry into your day, where you're going to be groggy basically for the first hour. You should get ideally some sort of protein into your system as soon as you can. If it's a coffee, do what you need to do. But the reality is, those of my comrades that have that morning issue, I just want to let you know it does indeed affect your life. One of the main things that I think about consistently is, first of all, grounding myself spiritually in the morning is a very, very important part of actually having the wisdom to lead. Second of all, when you say to yourself that I have to do something, you are immediately saying that it is an obligation and perhaps have a negative connotation to it. When you say to yourself that, hey, I get to do something, I get to go to my office, I get to perform these duties, I get to help people every day. Now there is innate optimism in that. And words have tremendous power, my friends. I learned this many, many times in my life, and I'm still consistently grooming my vocabulary to make sure that I have the positivity that I require to know that I'm loving myself, that I'm actually taking the time to evolve, and still having that spiritual in my life. So the advice that I always give is our emotions are important, for sure. Never, ever undervalue who you are as a human being and what these things mean to you. But my friend, get to logic as quickly as you can. If you're bad at math, try to go and solve some equations and get to a point where you at least think to yourself that you're decent at it. Math is everywhere in life. And frankly, what I'm beginning to realize is the income that we make comes down to how logical we can be about decisions that need to be made. Because most people end up spending so much time in our emotions that we miss opportunities that come our way, or we see something that perhaps is too good to be true, and instead of giving ourselves the opportunity to explore that thing, we instead evade it altogether out of trying to save our time, save our money, whatever it is. The optimism comes from the little things, like waking up in the morning and being like, yeah, sure, I feel shitty. Maybe I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted last night, but I gotta do a job. I gotta show up and show out. What helps me when I'm in those situations is just reminding myself consistently that first and foremost, life is a bit of a journey, right? If you're trying to accomplish anything substantial, anything that you can respect yourself in, I'm telling you right now that it's going to take longer. It's going to cost you more money, more time, and you're going to have to make sacrifices. That's just the harsh reality of living this life. And I think our generation, I'm 29 years old, and when I say our generation, I'm also kind of referencing some Gen Z folks, those of you that are watching, what's up? Our relatives, our ancestors didn't have all of the luxuries that we do. I don't care what part of the world that you're in. I don't care what socioeconomic position you're in, right? If you have access to a cell phone, my friend, you have access to the entire world. If you have access to the internet, you have access to the entire world. And that means that we have to consistently cut bullshit out of our environment so that we can actually think straight. And with that comes a responsibility. As a human being, in my opinion, there comes a responsibility that, listen, we've come so far as a species, so far, so currently. How do we, as individuals, expand that scope? There was a beautiful interview that a well-renowned artist gave, and he was saying that human creativity and human invention and the collective consciousness that we have can be depicted as a Pangea of sorts, a major island. And all of our consciousness kind of lives on this island. And it's the job of creative spirits and people that want to have the very most out of their life and hopefully want to give that to other folks. It is our job to go out and explore off of this island, to uncharted islands, to uncharted seas, whatever it is. Uncharted experiences is all metaphor. And our ideas and our exploration, our journeys, should ideally be brought back later on in life to the collective consciousness. Again, expanding that Pangea, that central island. So I say to you, when it comes down to it, it's going to be a journey. And if any of you have read fantasy books, the most fun parts of the books are making sure that, first of all, the protagonist stays completely grounded and going in a certain direction, but also embracing some of those negative emotions, embracing some of that bullshit that comes up in the journey. And I think our generation's a bit light on that, you know. I think we've gotten a lot, and you know, we're distracted a lot. And I think when we watch too many people kind of outraging about just normal shit, like normal life shit, like the same stuff the animals go through and trees go through, we're kind of detracting that power that we have inside of ourselves. We're saying to ourselves that we are victims rather than creators, rather than leaders, rather than catalysts. It's not good. It's not good at all. It'll take away, I'm telling you, from every little part of your life. And so don't let the little things bog you down. In fact, if it's hard, my friend, what's up, cicada? Bunch of cicadas here in Ohio. If it's hard, my friend, go into it more. Just because it's hard doesn't make it worth doing. But if it is worth doing and you encounter hardship, just realize that success is on the other end of it. Just like when you wake up in the morning and hopefully you decide to go and be active or eat well or inspire people. A phone call, let's see. My mom, she's like, yo, where you at, dog? I just got back from the office. It's about 8 p.m. So I've worked already about 12 hours. And I need to work some more. I need to put my damn ideas out there. Why do I do it? Well, it's a worthy cause, right? Why not inspire whoever's watching this video to get out of the bullshit, to get out of the rat race, to free yourself from the brutality of not believing in yourself and not embracing kind of the spiritual aspect of life of hope, of giving. If you don't, my friend, I warn you, there will come a time where you will look back and think to yourself, where did it all go wrong? And I don't want you to have to face that. So think about it. Think about it. And also the people you spend your time around with. Talk about this a lot, but you know, you're better off being lonely than having a bunch of people around you that complain about their emotions all the time. There's a quote that I live by. It says, below average people talk about people. All day they're kind of like, look at what she did. Look at what he's wearing. Look at what they said. Look at this person. Look at this TikTok video. Sorry. Average people talk about events. What's going on in the news? Did you hear about that concert that's going on? Did you embrace that car show that was in town? Do you want to go on vacation? Where would you like to go on vacation? Great people talk about ideas. Great people talk about ideas. And I want to be a great person. And I want to surround myself with great people to encourage myself to become that way. More so. So talking about ideas is What's the point of going on vacation? Why did that person say that stuff? What's the point of being alive? What is your passion in life, right? What is that thing that's worth doing that despite the hardships, you may very well figure out, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I say all of this to you because I want you to actualize your potential. I need you. The world needs you. And there's so much beyond that little bit of suffering that, hey, everyone fucking goes through. So wake up, kiddo. Time to get to work. Deuces.